Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at how to create a list view in Salesforce. It's a relatively straightforward process, but we're going to look at how to clone them, how to create a new one, how to set filters on them, and really all things list views. First thing we need to do is we're going to go over to accounts and we're going to create a list view here. So kind of lay of the land. Over here on the left, your list views are going to be on your recently viewed by default. Now we can change that. We're going to hit the drop down, and these are some of the stock list views that are available in Salesforce. We have all accounts, my accounts, new last week. Now we can go to like my accounts, and if you decided for whatever reason you wanted to delete this list view, if you come over to the gear icon and hit the drop down, you can hit the delete button here. And you can actually do that to these other list views as well. Now to create a new list view, you have a couple of different options. You can either clone or create new. So first we are going to create new and we'll go through that process. So we'll hit new. Now we can call it whatever we want. And I'll just call this one accounts 2. Now this is the visibility settings for this list view. So who can see it? So only I can see this list view. All users can see this list view, and you can see here, including guest partners and customer portal users, or you can share this list views with a group of users. If you're creating a custom list view just for yourself as an admin, this is a great way to do that. That way, maybe you're wanting to see certain records that you're having to look at often. Maybe there's certain accounts you're needing to look at. You can create your own list view. Or if you're creating a list view for a user, most of the time you're going to want to share it with a group of users, because if they're at one organization, if you have like multiple sites, maybe you don't want the East Coast site seeing in the list view for the West Coast site, for example. So we'll hit share list view with a group of users. And this is where you can have a couple options. You have roles and subordinates. You can hit roles and subordinates, and then you're able to search. So you could do channel sales team, and that's going to allow anybody in that role or their subordinates to see this list view. Now this is a Trailhead org in my sandbox. There's no real users here, so I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to do only I can see this list view. I'm going to hit save. So this is kind of the stock list view that comes up. Right now, it is being filtered by owner, and it's saying my accounts. So to change that, you just select right on my accounts anywhere in that box, and we can change that to all accounts. Now I want to add a filter. Now, so this is what the new filter looks like. So you can filter it by many different fields here. So we can look at account site, account source. Maybe you want to filter out by account site. So we have the operator equals, and you have a bunch of other operators as well. So I'll leave it as equals. And maybe the account site, you have it set up to be like your Texas site or whatever. You can change it to whatever you'd like. Now I want to set this billing state, and we're going to set the value to CA. Now I know in this org it's a 2-letter state, so we're only going to look at California accounts. And let's add one more filter if we'd like, just to look at some of the different options we have here. You could even set it to employees. I mean, really anything you like. To remove a filter, you just hit the X right here. Now you're going to hit save. So now it is showing me all accounts with the billing state of California, which is pretty great. So you could rename this list view California accounts. To rename your list view, come over here to the gear icon. You can hit rename. And we can call this CA accounts. Now note that your list view or your list API name does not change. And you're going to hit save. So now we have CA accounts. Awesome. Now for whatever reason, let's say you're wanting to create another new list view and you're wanting to do it for another state, but you really don't want to go through creating the new process and selecting state, right? You're going to hit the gear icon. You're going to hit clone. So now we're cloning this list view. And maybe we're going to call this Texas accounts, TX accounts. It'll automatically populate your API name, and you can change your visibility settings if you'd like when you hit save. So right now your Texas account and your California account list views are exactly the same. Now we need to adjust our filters. So instead of California, you're going to click right here in the box, and you're going to change that to TX. Done. Now we're going to hit save. And we have one Texas account. So that's how you can clone a list view quickly. So if you already have a list view that you like and you just need to change some of your filter settings, it may be worth cloning. I find it easier often to clone list views and then just make quick adjustments than create them from scratch. Now, some other cool things is currently right now it's in a table view. You can change it to Kanban, and you choose how you want to summarize it. So you can summarize it by annual revenue and then group by account owner. Sure, that sounds good. You could change it to something else if it's active or not. So right now there's only one Texas account here, and you can see I've got it under active, yes, and it's summarizing it up. You can also change this to split view. And when you select split view, it's pretty cool because if there's multiple accounts here, you would just be able to click here and then you can actually edit it in this split view, change like your rating setting to warm and hit save. And just like that, now your rating has been changed to medium. You made your updates. You can create a task if you like, but you're still in this list view. This comes in handy if you have multiple accounts you're needing to update at once. So like under the California accounts, we have multiple, right? So maybe I want to create a new task here, and you can create a quick task here. All right, so I'll hit save. All right, I've added my new task here, and now I'm going to go down to the other account, and now I can quickly add a task here as well. This is a super cool, powerful tool that I would highly suggest checking out. Now, to get back to your other views of this list view, you're going to go over here to the left side and you can change it back to a table if you'd like. But I really love the split view setting, and a lot of our users really love that as well because they're able to quickly go through and edit records, which is pretty awesome. Now back on the table, you can hit this pencil icon, you can hit edit list, and you can actually do some editing here. So if you wanted to edit the name of this account, you can do that here. We'll call this Timberline Hills, and we're going to hit save. So now the changes have been saved, and if you go to the account, it is now Timberline Hills. Pretty cool, huh? This is inline editing there. There is a printable view you can use. And to get the filters back, you just hit the little funnel icon here, and this is how you can change your filters. You can even add filter logic in if you'd like. The example, filter logic governs how and when filters apply to your list. Use and or operators to fine tune your results. But we're not going to add any filter logic in today. And this is the refresh button. So if you have a bunch of users in there and there's data being changed, you could, if you've been on the screen for a little bit, you could hit refresh there or just refresh your browser to get new information. You can also search your list views here. So you could search Timberline, hit enter, and it'll bring up Timberline Hills. That's another cool thing you can do with a list view. And if you find yourself always going to one list view often, this little pin icon, if you click pin, every time you come back to accounts, it's going to take you to your pinned list view, which is California accounts in this situation. But list views are a great, powerful tool. If you have inline editing turned on, you can edit records here, edit the fields here. And there's one other thing I'd like to show you. If you come over here to the gear icon and you select fields to display, you can change what fields are here. So if you wanted to see if these accounts are active or not, you could add that over in here, and you can actually move it up to the top and hit save. And when you save it, it's going to add that column over here to the to the front end. Now we can see which ones are active or not. So we can see Salesforce doesn't have a status, so maybe we want to change that. So since it's a drop-down menu, we can change it to active here and hit save. As you can see, the record is saved, and now the active status has been updated for that record. Super cool. So you can customize the columns you have, you can pin your list view, you can set filters, you can change the way it looks in 3 different settings. Here is the display. It is a super cool, powerful tool, and I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm putting out new Salesforce content each week, and I will see you in the next video.